Yo, what's up, fellas? It's Rob here. I hope you guys are having a phenomenal day. I want to give some more word of advice, some tips into understanding in more definition what certain words may or may not need, or just simply the topic of words. Because, like, here's the deal, man. There is almost 8 billion people in the planet currently, meaning there's a lot of people. Yet and out of those 8 billion people, there's close to 1 billion individuals that speak simply English. It's not even the most popular language. I believe right now it's the third. Mandarin is the first. So it's incredible. But regardless of what language you may or may not speak, obviously, if you're listening to this video, you speak English or as one or one of your languages. The thing is that there's a misinterpretation of certain words. And I think this also helps or harm society in a very impactful way. What do I mean by that? So I think one of the most important ones is the word ignorance. Because the word ignorance, according to Webster Dictionary, simply means that the person lacks information or knowledge. Meaning that you're stupid at something. Well, I don't want to say you're stupid, because stupid then signifies that you're both ignorant and arrogant with more ego than you possibly need. And you're just very adamant on that. You're just really, really stupid is what I believe. Because you have every single resource to your fingertips. And because you don't want to use them or attempt or have one little thought as to possibly you could be wrong, that just means you're stupid. There's a phrase that says, my brother told me this, and I don't know why, but this is one of the two phrases that's got stuck in my head, is that it's the mark of an intelligent person to ponder a thought yet not accept it. People just don't think about the thought, they just automatically dismiss it. That's what's called stupidity. Yet the word ignorant just means you don't know anything about it. It doesn't mean you don't want to learn anything about it. It just means you don't know anything. That's simply it. Now the problem then becomes that if you don't know anything about it, and yet because you've heard some things, maybe you've learned a little bit about it, but because you just have strictly an opinion, there's absolutely nothing factual behind it, that means you are arrogant. And when you mix arrogance with ignorance, that's when ignorance becomes a bad thing, because you cannot grow. And if you can't grow, what makes you think that it's a good thing? That's why people will then use it as a bad word. And it's not a connotation, it's a denotation, because you're using it as a bad thing. Meaning, me just saying, hey man, you just lack information or you know some knowledge about the topic, about crypto or this or that, no big deal. Yeah, that is considered a connotation, and in retrospect, that is the correct way for forms of communication for the vast audience of individuals and whatnot, blah, blah, blah. But in my opinion, if by doing that, you're just simply, being okay with people being cupcakes, and people are a bunch of soft asses at this moment. What you really want to tell them is the denotation. It's like, bro, you're ignorant, and you being ignorant means like, bro, eat some shrooms, take some acid, whatever it is you got to do, and understand that your arrogance is in the way for consistently learning more about it. Now, once you know stuff about it, if you don't agree with it, that's perfectly fine. That it just means that doesn't mean you're ignorant. It just means that, bro, you don't agree with it, and that's fine. But it's like, for example, people in politics, you normally choose red or blue, but you know absolutely nothing about the topic behind it. You read the headline, the bullet, you might skim through the paragraph, one paragraph, skim through it, and see a 5-minute video one time, skip through half of it, or you only see half of it, and then think you know it all. No, that is a big issue. People in this country are absolutely ignorant and arrogant. The broker you are, the more arrogant you are. The broke people are the most selfish, ignorant, and arrogant individuals in the face of this country. Because here's the truth, man. Most people in this country don't read one book a year. They don't. You're averaging 0 books a year in this country. That's incredible to begin with. The other thing is that we have an average education level of reading in this country of 13, 14 years old. Meaning that, bro, like, most of you never really actually graduated middle school. Like, meaning like, even though you have a high school diploma, what did you really actually learn? Because you didn't really, nothing really absorbed into your head after high school. So you went to high school, you went to college. It means that 8 years of information is absolutely lost. And I completely understand it. And I completely understand where people are coming from. Because it's like, yo, like, what the hell is there to retain when it's absolutely the same nonsense and they make it boring and stuff? And you're absolutely right about that. But if you know that means it's your responsibility, and you have to take accountability that you have to go on YouTube and podcast and do whatever it is you got to do in order to learn. Because if the system is failing you, that means, and you know it's failing you, that is when your arrogance is allowing you to stay ignorant. And meaning that is why people here in this country, men are earning $34,000 a year and women are earning $23,000 a year. And that is the average for the country. In most metropolitan cities, or a lot of metropolitan cities, you need to earn significantly more money than that in order just to live and survive. All right. And the reason why is because the level of your education shows your income. That's just it. If you have the pretty much the education of a 13-year-old person, yeah, you deserve to make $34,000 a year. I don't give a shit that you went to high school, you went to college, this and that. If you're thinking like a 13-year-old and you don't think you are, then you're failing. Because honestly, I really believe you should be thinking like a 4-year-old. That's how you prosper, because a 4-year-old is willing to learn as much as they can possibly learn, no matter what. They don't stop. And the most important question that a 4-year-old consistently asks is why. The 4-year-old asks the question why 400 times just because, first of all, the word why just rolls off the tongue. It just sounds nice. That's why a 4-year-old might say it, because here's the deal. We use these words, and the most important thing behind it is the emotion that people put behind these words. That's when it becomes positive or negative. That's why the other thing, when it comes with like the concept of profanity, the definitions in words describing what profanity is different today as it was 20, 30 years ago. Truthfully, think about it. If I called you, for example, if I called a gay guy a faggot, he's more offended to that than if I say like, oh, fuck you, bro. 100%. Because it's like me saying the N-word with ER at the end to a black guy. It's the same concept. Words that create a very strong emotion are really what profanity can be. A strong, harsh emotion. That's why now you don't hear the word ass as being like censored. Words like fuck, yeah, they can still be censored on like national television and whatnot, because the other part of profanity is like, if the word is not needed, then why are you going to use it, right? Because then a lot of you are going to say, oh, then if the word ignorant is not needed, why are you going to use it? Because you guys are sheep, and I got to just be real with you about what it is. Because if not, you're going to continue falling around and get your mom to pat you in the back and tell you it's okay, and have your dad and like hold your hand. Bro, come on, grow up. That's not helpful for you or nor anyone in the matter of in this case. So it's like we really have to consider having a real conversation about that, because for example, the word ignorant isn't necessarily taught until you're about 16, 17 years old in high school. Meaning, like, if your age is 13 years old and your reading level, that means you just simply don't understand a word that's of a higher magnitude than that. And that's not no one's fault. That's because of education. This school system has been the same since 1909. It's just your fault if you're not going to go ahead and consistently improve your education. A lot of you that may or may not be watching this video, let's say you're my age, right? I'm 27 years old. Meaning, a lot of people get out of college at 23. Unless you do a specialty like maybe law or medicine, then you probably, right now, you're graduating at this very moment, right? But if you're not, even if you graduated high school or anything, the question is, how long has it been since you continued your education? Has it been 1 month, 3 months, a year, 10 years? Have you actually consistently improved the biggest muscle you have in your body, other than your legs? Because it's important, and this is probably the most important one anyways, because the point of life is to work smarter, not harder. You have to work hard, but do it the smart way. That way you can live life. But if you don't understand something so simple as words and the significance that certain words may or may not have, or the misinterpretation of certain words, means they're going to create an emotion behind it, meaning that, honestly, if you're just simply ignorant, that should be a very positive thing if you're willing to acknowledge it, because you have confidence that you can learn about it, and you're not, everyone has arrogance, especially if you're a guy, but like, it's small enough to say like, I really absolutely know nothing about this, because why are you listening to your neighbor, your mom, your grandparents, your uncle, your whomever about a certain topic that they may know absolutely nothing about? That's why you ask experts, or you go ahead and become an expert. That way you absolutely know where you're going about. If you want to get involved in real estate, you're not going to ask your family. You're going to ask a realtor. You're going to ask an investor. You're going to learn books and whatnot and see things from like Robert Kiyosaki and whatnot. You're not going to listen to your people. If you want to do crypto, same concept. You're never going to go to a mechanic to ask, how's your heart doing? No, why? Because a mechanic doesn't fucking know anything about medicine. It's not that he's dumb about it. He's just ignorant. He doesn't know anything about it. And he's willing to say, bro, I don't know shit. That's just it. That's just it. There's nothing wrong with that. Well, what's the big deal? He just lacks information. He didn't specialize in that. Now, if you want to go ahead and say, tell me, tune up my car, do this and this and that, put on my car, like, I got you. No big deal. No big deal. Because you have a specialty. That's why people are wealthy, because they acknowledge that they are ignorant in something. That's why they bring a team of people. Most people are thinking about, it's me against the world. No, man, like, fine, it is that way because that's what you believe. But the other thing is that people are wealthy because they have 10, 20, 30, 100 people, like 3, 4, 5,000 people within, their circle of influence. They probably have 20, 30, 40 solid individuals that, for lawyers, accountants, like businesses, like this, that, like different people within the levels of connections that they don't know anything about. They're going to learn as much as they can as years goes by, obviously, because it's money. But at the end of the day, they understand that, I don't have to specialize in this. I just have to have a broad understanding of what this is. But if you think like, man, just because I don't know anything, I can't learn it. Nah, bro, like, it's not going to work out that way. Because here's the deal. Like, if you get cancer, you're going to learn more about cancer than your own doctor. And means you could show that your doctor, hey, you're so ignorant. And in this case, why? Because your doctor's not explaining this procedure or that procedure or this experiment or that. And you're just simply teaching him. And he's going to teach you back. And the fact that there's a lack of information, this divide, we can then use it to learn more and get closer together. If I have a different opinion within, let's say, politics or religion or whatever it may be, or sex or anything, taboo topics, it's not something we should be tabooed and not to speak about. It's something that we should discuss about, because it's the only way we're going to learn to understand one another. That's it. That's the biggest thing. So why is there a big issue about being ignorant about a certain thing? Like, us men, what is something that we're not even ignorant? We're just stupid as shit at women. We don't know anything about women. We say we do. Yeah, we're going to be cocky as fuck because, 1 or 2 out of the 100 guys here and watching this video, 2% of you know how to fuck, and the other, and get girls. The other one, 10, 20% of you saying like, yeah, bro, like I know how to do everything. You really don't know how to do anything, and you're just lying because of arrogance. And that's going to stop you from getting what you actually want. There's nothing wrong with saying like, I pull bitches, let's say, as an example. But it's like, I'm still learning how to, though. It means that, like, you're accepting where you are and you can always improve. That's a good thing, meaning you can always get better. And that's the point of life. Because if you're getting better, it means you have an opportunity to kick ass in life. But if you're not consistently learning, it means that since life doesn't stop teaching, you're going to get your ass kicked. And that's what happened to most people by the time they hit 65. They retire with nothing because they stop learning. Don't be one of them.